The most kind, most gracious human beings I have ever met in my life. She just exemplifies and models so much of what I think is needed in this world right now, and I am just so excited that she's here, willing to share this information with you. She's been around for a very long time. She has seen the ups, the downs, the all-arounds, and she works so hard to build leaders within her team. So please, warm welcome, if you will, for Becky Sattler.
Let's go, Becky! And look how beautiful you are. You guys are here doing it almost at the end of this session, and you're here. I'm so proud of you. That is what we're going to talk today about, is showing up to go up. And you guys are doing the show up. So my name is Becky Sattler, and let's talk about how to identify and build leaders. So first I'm going to start with a story. So imagine this. I had just sponsored my next director, my next superstar director. I knew it. She was a business executive, and I had just hit the jackpot. She had tons of potential and experience, so I worked one-on-one with her. I trained her. We mapped out the whole program, the whole plan of her attack. Guess what? She didn't even promote to certified, and her account terminated in 3 months. So I naturally thought that I had failed her, that if I had been a better leader, then she would have done better. But I came to realize that that just isn't true. If I do my part, her success truly does depend on her actions. We've heard that over and over today. Work with the willing, do what you can. So we help them to know what to do and then look for those who take action. Okay, good. So often we look at the people in our teams and we think we can predict who is going to be the next leader. We think it's going to be the best customer, or the one who loves our products, or has experience in direct sales, the one who loves to host, is social, organized, and has it all together. In my experience, that's just not the case. When I pick who I think will be successful based on these qualities, I tend to push and prod and pull and motivate like crazy, only to end up frustrated when they don't achieve the level of success that I see in them. You simply can't push, pull, or prod anyone to director. Okay, so here is my favorite quote, and I use it all the time. I use it in my parenting, I use it in my leading, I use it in how I view, even to motivate myself. So this is a quote by Donald Count. He's a researcher in Canada. He's a brain researcher, and after years and years of research, he concluded that emotion leads to action while reason leads to conclusion. If it stays in your head, you will conclude that something is a good idea. But if you want them to take action on that, you have to motivate it through emotion. Ding! So, over the years, I found that there are 3 necessary components to building into any coaching program, any training, any one-on-one, anything that you do to lead and help find these leaders. There are 3 things that you can do to really tap into that emotional connection so that they will truly take action. Belief, belonging, and momentum. Far too many of us don't even believe in ourselves. We don't really know if we belong, and then we don't take action and celebrate our successes to even be able to see the momentum that we have. So that's where we as leaders can come in and impact our teams, is building that belief in them. Okay, belief is first because, as Bill Walsh stated, if your why is strong enough, you will figure out the how. That means building belief in me as their leader, that I'll really help them, building belief in themselves that they can really do it, and building belief in the company or the opportunity that they're really in the right place. So let's talk about 3 ways to build that belief. So if you don't have belief in yourself as a leader, or that you're in the right place, the rest will be impossible. Do what it takes to get yourself there, and then you can lift others, and they can believe in your ability to even help them. So then you can say, I can help you do this. And then we build belief in themselves, that they can do it. And that's one of the coolest things that we get to do as leaders and in this business. Most of my leaders said that I saw it in them way before they ever saw the potential in themselves. At first, we get to look for it in everyone and then help them see what we see. We can use the reports to help see who's selling, who's sponsoring, who's growing, whose year over year is higher, when they're close to promotion, all the things. So it can be an approach that isn't just a haphazard. We can use our reports to do that. In fact, I remember sitting in a room just like this for SFR in 2009. And I saw so many successful consultants sharing what they were doing, getting awards, just amazing, amazing people. And I remember turning to my husband and looking at him and saying, "Do you think that'll ever be me?" My confidence and my belief grew as I continued to learn and try new things. And I learned that confidence comes from experience. Our teams need to grow in their confidence and belief in themselves through experience too. So that's why we can't push or pull, but we partner with them so that they can get that experience too. My favorite way to do this, my favorite model to help them to do it is I do, we do, you do. My team member Rihanna just did this with my leadership development program. She took my program the first time and then helped me co-lead it the second time, and then came up with her own recruiting program the third time. After running her own program, she said, quote, "Thanks for encouraging me to do this posting challenge because I think it's also showing my team that I can lead and I'm getting more street cred," end quote. This is how I pour belief into my team. Often you have to see it before they do. As you share your belief in them and as they follow your tips and challenges, they will grow in their belief as they see that proof. The second thing is the belief in the company. Building belief in the company isn't just rainbows and wishes. It's actually knowing how to maximize the compensation plan. It's training them so that they see how they can make it work for them too. It's perspective for when their business is in a different phase than before. It's a vision for what's possible and how to see themselves within that vision. My first SFR was life-changing for me. When I heard the vision for Scentsy's future, I knew it was going places. And I knew that if I wanted to jump on that train, I needed to move. And I needed to make sure that I was running fast enough to keep up with it and doing the things that I needed to, so that I didn't miss that train. And we can do the same thing for our team members. As we help them believe in the company and in the opportunity too, we can help them get to that big why that's down the road. That's the path. So our job is to create the circumstances that allow leaders to rise up. Where there's vision, they will find a way. When they know their why, they will figure out the how. They can get the tactics anywhere, but your power comes in your ability to help them create that belief, belonging, and momentum. So let's talk about belonging. Belonging means helping them feel like they aren't alone, that they belong with you. They have a place to sit. When we feel like we belong and we aren't the only ones and that we aren't only valued for our experience or our numbers or our rank, we're more likely to get out of our comfort zones and try new things, which again builds our confidence, and it's that beautiful cycle that just keeps going. How many of you have ever felt alone in your business? That's why our teams build a culture of love and unity and support. It's more fun together, but it also gives us permission to try. So even if we fail, we're far more likely to succeed. If you've ever felt like your team page is dead and nobody is working, or like you only talk with your team members at the end of the month to see if they're going to put it in order, this is a great opportunity for you to focus on creating that sense of belonging within your team. So ways that I do this are, there we go, through recognition. Recognition like happy mail, shout outs on social media, a postcard, or email shout outs, or asking a team member to share how they're working. Team bonding, like team get-togethers, accountability partners so that they get to know someone new, team member spotlight, or choose a leader for the day on your team page. Personal communication like texts or phone calls just to catch up, not even business related, or a handwritten card, or a video message congratulating them on being active or doing something good. Give them a sense of connection and belonging. We always crave it, but especially now. Make sure that your team feels easy to enter and hard to leave, and that's done through belonging. Momentum is also so important. It's that feeling of progress. It's that feeling that carries us through the bumps and through the slow times and through the hard things and through the defeat and all of the things that we all go through. It doesn't mean that you're a bad consultant. It's part of the natural consequence. So the more momentum we can gain, the more we can actually get over those. So there are lots of ways to gain momentum with your team, but I'll share 3 ways that I like to do it. So share successes and stories. So spotlight what you see your team doing and encourage them to even share what they're doing well. When I see a good social media post or a good example of how somebody is working their business on my team, I screenshot it and I share it in my team and explain what they're doing that's great, as well as just give them the shout out for doing it. And it makes them feel seen and valued, as well as shares a great idea. Most of the time it's the simple things that they're doing. It doesn't have to be huge or complicated, and it definitely doesn't depend on rank. Just share the good things that you see doing. Another thing that I love to do is I love to go live together with a team member. So both of our faces get up there, and I just ask them what they're doing and what's working right now. It's kind of like a podcast, and it takes the pressure off of them, especially if they're new or they don't really love to get up and they in front of people and they haven't really developed that confidence yet. Remember, we're giving them experience to be able to gain that confidence. And so I can ask them questions and they can respond, and it makes it feel really natural and helps them gain that confidence. It can be any title, any success, but sharing those ideas helps spread all of the ideas and the momentum within our group, as well as then it just feels like everybody is moving. So then people think, oh, again, remember that train is moving, I need to get on it. Also, I love to help them develop bite-sized stories so that they can share with others outside of the team to build their own momentum, like Scentsy pays for my car payment, or date nights, or my mortgage, or we paid for our family trip, or whatever it is. It helps them to recognize what the little momentum that Scentsy has made in their life, as well as be able to share those little teeny sound bites with somebody else so that they can share that success with others. Then the third way that I like to do it, and then the second way is the action plan. The reason that I love the action plan is because it's in the workstation. You don't have to make it up. You don't have to create your own program. You just help them to make and celebrate their small goals. So it helps them to see where they are, what they need to get to their end goal, and the gap, what they need to do, and create those small little teeny baby steps to get them there. And then as they continue to take those little steps, it gives a lot more of that feeling of progress, that feeling of momentum and success. As well as others can see it, and then they can just, momentum really is contagious, and the more that we can share that momentum, the more that it helps everybody have the feeling of progress and movement. So the third way that I like to build momentum is through my training programs. Organized training programs are one of my favorite ways to gather their momentum, and I allow anybody who wants to self-select to join into my programs. As long as they're willing to commit to try and to do it with me, I say, okay, come on in, let's try. And I give them weekly trainings and challenges for the duration of the program. I run the program on anything. You can run it on anything that you want to focus on. We've done leadership development, we've done recruiting and sponsoring, we've done selling, or even just personal development, or even a book group. I run it for about 6 weeks so that it's long enough to help them develop the habits that they need, and so I can really see who's committed. So then again, I know who to work with one-on-one and where I should really focus. I love to divide the participants up into what I call tiny teams so that they can work with each other, and that really helps the leaders of the tiny teams to develop that success through experience of leading before they even have a team. They might not even have anybody on their team, but they get through that experience of leading a team. So that helps them work on their belief through their leadership skills. And then they get to know others in the program that might not be on their little team, and that helps build belonging. And then gathering the momentum, and those who want to work also keeps my own energy and momentum going. Sometimes when I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got nothing going on, my team is dragging, or I just can't do it, I will run another one of these programs because I gather all the people that are working, and that helps me really work with the willing, and it helps me really feel their fire as we can both give fire and take fire. And so I'm not trying to drag the whole team. I get to work with those who really want it right now. And if you don't have anyone in your whole group that is wanting to work right now, that's okay. It's time to love those you have and find more who are ready to work, and find more who in their life, now's the right time. So, again, don't push or pull. You have to just partner with them. This model of building that belief and the belonging and the momentum through so many different ways, it avoids the frustration of trying to push or pull them to director, but rather partners with them through goals that help them to stretch, through experiences that build that confidence so that they can do it. Those who respond grow, And those that don't, at least have caught a glimpse of their potential, and maybe it'll be a better time later. The greatest force is individual determination. We help them grow that as leaders. What a great power that we can have in everybody's lives. We coach our teams and give them the best. And those who get better are the ones who listen and do. Just like you all. You're all in here today. You're at SFR and you're here in the workshops trying to learn more and trying to do better. So you guys are building the leader within yourselves right now. Remember, only a handful of your big group will be your leaders. Only a handful are ready to take that on and step into that next role. But we let them self-select by who responds through their actions, through their momentum, through their work. That takes the weight off of your shoulders. If you're leading and challenging and mentoring and nobody's stepping up, that doesn't mean you're a bad leader. It took me a long time to realize that. But if you're implementing the principles of belief and belonging and momentum and keep looking for those who are ready to run with you, you will find your directors. Pour into them. Believe it more than they can for a little bit if you need to, and watch for the ones who respond and do. We often see it before they do, like I said. So share what you see with them. Share that belief, share that belonging, share that momentum. What a beautiful gift we can give. The gift of believing in someone and building that belief in them to help them feel like they have a place to belong, and the thrill of progress that comes from momentum. The only way to get to those dream paychecks or that promotion you've been working for is through identifying and building directors. But there are lots of ways to do it. But if your why is strong enough, not only theirs, but if your why of building that business, that's a legacy business, that will be life-changing, if your why is strong enough to find your directors and build those leaders, you'll figure out how as well. You'll figure out how to find and build those leaders, and you'll help change their lives as you empower them. I know you can do it. Let's build leaders. Thank you.